Sadiq Bhai, I know you're on the call. You have been teaching at medical school for quite a long time. So just based on your experience, um, what advice would you give to our graduates if, as they go into their undergrad years, they're also thinking about med school 4 years down the line, right? So, how can they prepare themselves so they're ready to achieve that part of their dreams?
Thank you, Rahat. I'd like to congratulate all the graduates and also BADV for arranging these things. So it's important that for each and every subject, you have to prepare yourself from the very beginning. I know when you go to the first into any institution after the high school, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of fun, and a lot of opportunities to do many, many things. So it's very important that medicine, obviously, very competitive. So to get admitted in medicine, you have to actually, my suggestion is to do something, all the stuff from first year. Why? Because we need obviously the high grade and good MCAT score, and also a lot of voluntary services and some more scholarly things, which is you might get touch with us and we may give you some research work. By end of your fourth year graduate, you probably have a couple of publications. So if you're really interested in medicine, you have to invest yourself, your time, your connections from the very beginning. But medicine is difficult. Medicine, Dr. Siddiqui said, it's hard. So you have to have patience for it. So whatever you do your best. But if you really want to get into medicine, you can talk to me later on and we can talk about it, how to prepare yourself from now on.
Sadiq Bhai, thank you so much. Obviously, we're going to have your contact information on our website and also via email. So if anyone has questions, they can reach out. Again, for the graduates, if you have questions, please put it in the Zoom chat box and I'll ask the panelists. Sadiq Bhai, the one other thing I do want to talk about is I do see that obviously, as you mentioned, it's a very high pressure career in terms of getting into med school. The other thing I think, especially parents need to be aware of a little bit is the expense that's associated with medical school, right? I think because as children come out of medical school, they tend to earn a lot of money. Most medical school doesn't give as much financial aid or scholarship as they do at the undergraduate level, right? So, what advice would you give to parents, if they really want their kids to go to medical school, if they haven't already thought about the financial aspect, any specific advice you would give them in terms of getting ready for the sticker shock, so to speak?
Actually, once you get admitted to medical school, there are loan you can get. You're right. There is not much financial aids or scholarship for medical school, but usually loans are available, so you can cover expenses. So when you end up graduating, you probably have a big loan. And usually if you're passionate about it, and if you don't stay an academic like me, then you can earn a lot of money and you can obviously reimburse your loan. But I don't think people think about as much for the loan part, because I think when they pursue their career, they just think this is a part of life.
Thanks, BADV, during doing this excellent and timely initiative for our future generation and put me as one of the panelists. Thank you, our moderators, panelists, and viewers. Actually, healthcare is a growing industry in USA. Even before I joined in the healthcare, I don't know. I was actually long time working in the academia. I was working in the UPenn, I worked in the Jefferson. Accidentally, I was working in this corporate healthcare world. That is long history, but I want to tell, lots of opportunity actually in the healthcare, and you can do lots of internship and co-op also the healthcare industry. Especially, I work in the Independent Blue Cross. Then there is another work I am now presently working as a director in the Health Corridors. And as you know, there is lots of internship. We usually take around 20 to 35 students for the college student. We are taking from the sophomore to the junior, or some case of the senior. And if we are actually sending this kind of link to the all university colleges, and it is also our website. And you can do it during the fall. This is the 8 weeks to 12 weeks period, and we are paying a very handsome amount of money during even the internship. And you can take, if you are doing pretty good in that internship, if you want to the career of the healthcare, there is a like as you have to be learn a lot of new technology, new field, healthcare system, claim, financial, how to work with the customer, and also the healthcare industry in this USA. It is huge opportunity doing the internship. And if anybody interested, also the BADV will also reach out to me. I can help you out.
Thank you, Brulbhai. One other thing, obviously, you're in healthcare consulting. So again, talking about diversity of career, this is something that we haven't talked about before. Now we're coming to consulting. Any advice you want to give to the graduate in terms of how they should be thinking about if they think they want to be a consultant, be it in healthcare or any other industry?
Yeah, like actually healthcare, they're asking for a lot of consultants. This is the field. So I'm telling to high school graduate, if you feel like as joining in the healthcare industry, so it is better to join as like an internship or co-op program in the industry. Then in future, in long run, you have a chance for doing the full-time job in there, and it is very well paid. And I can tell this is the balanced job or in your life. You can do so many things there. And consulting, there is like as to doing there you can do even part-time, you can do full-time, you can do like so much. If you are the math graduate, if you are the biology major, if you are doing the statistician, there is lots of opportunity. We have wide range of opportunity in the healthcare. Even when I do, initially I don't know, I was scared to joining this kind of full-time position. Then I keep my job in the, what is called in the Jefferson as a faculty, also like keeping the job in doing the part-time in there. Then I feel, okay, I can continue the job. Then I'm working as a Jefferson as like the adjunct faculty, but like healthcare is diverse, so many things there. It's difficult to explain also in one word, but you have a like a doing the consulting at the claim level. You have to know the Medicare, Medicare. You can do statistics. You can do the predictive modeling, and because it's like as they are showing how we can balance for the like a government can help the people like a provider and the what is called the patient level. You give the gaps in care in the both place, and you can help the NCQA or National Institute of Health. Also, the helping for the like Medicare, Medicaid company, company, CMS, the national level. So this is you have to show your talents. You have to show your like efficacy in there. And if you join there, I feel like this is good opportunity. Also, like what is the Hyderabad said, dental or some other thing. The healthcare also good for those people taking the biology major or other department also.
The admissions committee for the doctoral program, doctoral of science program in dentistry at UPenn. So Hyderabad, the question for you would be, obviously you are in an admission program for people who are basically dedicating their life to education. They're going to be studying for a long, long, long time. So what are some of the key things that you see in an application, right, that you can share with our graduates here that, as I'm looking at doctoral students, these are absolute must-have for our graduates to have?
Okay, first of all, thank you to BADV for organizing this. And second, congratulations to all the parents and not the kids, but the young adults who graduated and will be going to college soon. I just want to talk a little bit about my background. In fact, I am the professor at the dental school. I have affiliation at the medical school as well. And the admission committee that I chair is admission committee for dentists who want to do a PhD and fellowship 6-year program. So that's very advanced. So what I want to do is maybe talk a little bit about, say, for example, students who are majoring in biomedical sciences, and I noted that there are 3 of them, at least 3 of them from the group. And so when you finish, or when you go through the college, you might be thinking about going to medical school. You might be thinking about doing a PhD. And in fact, I did have a number of students that have trained in my lab before going to medical school and doing a PhD program. And so if anyone is interested in coming and talking to me, and if you want to go to medical school and a PhD program, that would be great. Now, my primary affiliation is at the dental school. And when I look at the people in undergraduate students, not many of them will be thinking of entering a dental school after they graduate from their 4-year college degree. I think there are two reasons for that. The first is that we really don't have a role model. So for example, if you look at the people in this panel, I mean, I can see so many doctors, I can see so many engineers, I can see so many IT people. I don't see a single dentist. I'm not a dentist myself, but I think we're missing the role model. And the second thing is that, you know, medicine sounds exciting, sounds important. You know, dentistry has some negative perception. And so, for example, if a parent has a kid going to medical school, these parents would be very, very excited. But if parents have students going to dental school, they probably won't feel that excited because it is not cool. Now, what I want to do is that my daughter, who's a sophomore in college this year, so she's 1 year ahead of all the students who are graduating this year. So I'm kind of trying to encourage her to go to dental school. And so what I did last year is that I showed her the class picture of all the incoming dental students that are coming to Penn. And I said to her, just look at these 134 students, just look at the pictures and tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind. And she said, Baba, these are all Asian girls, right? And I didn't even think about that. And in fact, when you look at the class roster, of the 135, 85 are girls and 45 are boys. And so that's a staggering 65% female in the incoming dental school class. Now, that didn't used to be like this. You know, 30 years ago, it used to be all white male. And if you look at the Asians, the Chinese, Koreans, and some Indians, and very few Bangladeshis. So what I would encourage the students who are going into, you know, doing major in biology, you know, think about DMD. DMD is an MD degree with a dentistry in front of it. It is a 4-year degree. The curriculum is no less strict, no less hard than the medical school. And so I guess the question was, what are the things that one should look for? Or was the question?
Yeah, just as you're looking at applicants, right? You know, what are the must-haves if someone is pursuing, for example, a PhD program?
I think one of the first things that one must have is a real interest in dentistry. We at the dentist school, we're not interested in someone who's looking at dentistry as a backup to medical school. So that's a no. And the other thing is that, you know, why do you want to go into dentistry? How have we explored the profession? How do we know that this is something that you really, really want to do? And, you know, so have you shadowed a number of dentists? The things that come out of them? What are, you know, what does your essay look like? And the other thing is that, just like any other school, what we look at is that which school you came from, and your DAT score, which is similar to the MCAT score for the medical school, and your GPA score. So all these things are pretty standard. And I think the admission process and the requirements are pretty similar for the dental school as for the medical school. But there are some differences, like one would need to have a visual perception test. And also if somebody is doing a biomedical degree, and if they really have, if they can do things with their hand, manual dexterity. And if they say, you know what, I want to become a scientist, but I want to do something with my hands, then I would encourage you to explore that possibility.
Thank you, Haider. I think, look, I have to thank BADV. The one thing, as you can see, we're doing is we have a range of career options being talked about, right? You know, we started with engineering, then with Sadiq Bhai, we went to med school, you know, then we talked a little bit about, you know, life of a CIO and maybe accounting, and now we're covering dentistry. So hopefully for the graduates, you know, you can see that, you know, there are a lot of career paths here that inshallah you can pursue that can, you know, hopefully bring you a very rewarding career. So again, don't be shy to reach out to the panelists, you know, even after this. So.
Assalamualaikum, Mr. Ali. Is it when you're in college, planning to go for pre-dentistry track. While I'm on the track, is it possible to get shadowing and internship while you're in college? We apply to dentist schools.
Okay, it is possible. There are programs at UPenn Dental School. So what I would ask you to do is that please send me an email. I mean, I'm not sure what is going on right now, but in normal situation, there are programs. So if you could send me an email and I will put you in the right direction.
Okay.
Shamin Bhai here. So Shamin Bhai, I'm going to pick on you. I was going through your bio also, saw a lot of common things related to Illinois, saw that you were a CPA. I guess that's not being used that much, but you know, I do want to tie that to your current profession. Obviously, you had, I think, computer science and accounting as your undergrad majors, right? Maybe you can talk a little bit about, you know, why having such a diverse interest actually might end up, you know, helping you in your career versus being very focused on just one thing. So if you could maybe look way back into your college days and tie that to what you see in corporate America, would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Thank you, Rahat, and congratulations to all the awesome graduates this year. So I wish you the best. And thanks to BADV for hosting this wonderful event this afternoon. So I know you were joking about my CPA, but you know, as I think Kausar mentioned, that you know, you really don't always know what you're going to do in your life, right? I mean, you start in a certain path and then you discover and you learn new things and you go from there. So accounting was just an accident for me. You know, the Bangladeshi parents haven't really changed, I would say, in the last 40, 50 years, because my parents were exactly the way many of the Bangladeshi parents are now. You know, my parents wanted me to either be a doctor or an engineer. I really had two choices. So I came into engineering path and started with computer science, and then accidentally, I ended up with an accounting class. And the reason I got to the accounting class was I was a freshman in college, and they didn't have any classes available. So because freshmen don't have a lot of choices, you just take their leftover classes. So the only class I could take was this accounting class, an evening class, 6 to 9 p.m. on a Monday. That was terrible. But I ended up taking the class, and I enjoyed it. You know, I was always math and science kind of background, so it makes sense to me. You know, numbers add up, and debits and credits. So I took second class, and I took third accounting class, and fourth. Before I know, I had enough accounting classes to sit for the CPA exam after graduation, and that's how I became a CPA. Interestingly enough, I never used my CPA license to practice or do anybody's taxes, anything like that, or any kind of auditing. But I still have my license. And what I tell you is, in my career, you know, being a Fortune 500 senior executive, a CIO of a $20 billion company, that CPA, the accounting background, was the most helpful. Because after probably 5, 6 years, computer science was no longer relevant for my job. It was really the business skills that I had that allowed me to continue to excel and become a senior leader of a company like this. So hindsight, you know, that was brilliant that I took these accounting classes, although my friends always gave me a hard time. Like, what are you doing with all this nonsense? You know, you should be an engineer and you should be focusing on computer science or more math kind of stuff, but why are you doing accounting? But today, 20 years later, 25 years later, I'm glad I ran into that thing. I'll give you one other example, Rahat, which is my own daughter. You know, she just graduated this year from college, and she started with pre-med. So she went to pre-med. During our high school year, she was very much focused on all things medicine. And then she took some classes in the freshman year in liberal arts. So she got really hooked into political science. Then she ended up being more focused on some Middle Eastern studies, and she ended up majoring something completely different. Now she wants to be a school teacher. Kausar will be very happy to know she's going to be a school teacher in Dallas. She took a job there, and she also getting a master's in education from Johns Hopkins. And then she wants to be a professor someday after she gets a PhD in a few years down the road. So this is the thing, you know, so you start early. You know, you don't have to have all the answers, right? But what's really important is keep an open mind. You continue to learn and discover different things, and don't be afraid to try something completely different that you don't think you have an interest in right now. So, you know, that may be your career. For me, accounting was one of those things. Because I started, and I took accounting That's probably why I could become a CIO today. If I stayed with just computer science, yes, I would be successful, but I would probably be, as a very good software engineer, but not a big leader of a big company.
Shahin bhai, thank you so much. And don't sell accounting short, right? I'm an accountant and I actually have a CPA too. And I'll tell you, I did use the CPA and alhamdulillah, it was a very rewarding career. So
absolutely, this helps me every day. I have the license, in my office wall, there, and I use it next to my name all the time.
This section is underrepresented, so it's up to you and me to bring, punch our weight on that front. So, don't be shy. If you want to pursue a career in accounting, trust me, it's very, very rewarding.
Or somebody is going to thinking about med school and other careers. What I would like to say is that family is very important in all part of your career, from high school to graduating from college and up to the professional career. So my daughter just finished residency in pediatrics, and she started attending doctor in Los Angeles Children's Hospital. So some of the things that happened is that as a Bengal parents, we were very strict 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Now, what I understand is that we don't have to be. We don't have to be that strict. We have to give our kids freedom, and we have to encourage our kids to be a human being with your own self, meaning he has to be a person, a complete person, independent person. So that is very important. When we finished high school and we went to engineering school in Bangladesh, first thing we did is from our village, we went to the university at Dhaka, and we started staying in dorms. And there, the opportunities are limitless. There was no parents, nothing to, nobody to tell you, what to do and what not to do. So I think it is very important for our kids to stay in the dorm, to know the world, to explore their own, but at the same time, the responsibility that goes to our kids is that you have to understand that you have parents at home who are always thinking about you. So while you are exploring your own world, also think about the family. That is very important. Now, my daughter went to engineering school in Hopkins, and she told me that Dad, I don't want to go to med school because I want to get married. I want to have my own family. Then I told her that okay, no problem. You can do that, but you have to do a PhD. Then she went to Harvard for an internship. And then after 1.5 years, she came home and said that I want to go to med school. And they're go ahead. So it is very important to make yourself with a goal, and write it down, jot it down, that what do you need to do, be very methodical. And she joined many clubs at Hopkins, like a dance group. And first year went, second year, she came and told me, Dad, I'm quitting the dance group because I have to focus on my study. So my suggestion is that when you're exploring the world, go ahead and join any clubs that you want as your extracurricular, because if you want to go to med school or any other profession, you will need extracurricular activities, and you will need volunteered or internships. So, but do not overkill your clubs. Do 1 or 2 or max 3, and then balance it with your study. You always have to think about that, like I have to do good grades and good grades. One of my son went to UPenn, and like all I told him is that like do as best as you can, try to maximize your time on studies, enjoy, and grades is not a problem. Like if you can make good grades, that is okay. If you cannot make good grades, you try your best, and I don't have any problem. Now, one of the problem with our Asian kids or Bangladeshi Asian parents or Bengal parents is like we always tell our kids that like you have to do very good grades, no B's allowed in the house, and only A's and A+ is good. So that's not true. Do not overpressure your kids that they have to get all A's. Get some B's also. Yeah. Now, my youngest one finished mechanical engineering from UDEL, and he came and told me after the high school 11th grade that like my sister was a valedictorian, my brother was a valedictorian in a public school, William Penn, but I cannot get that pressure. I cannot take that pressure to be a valedictorian. I said, okay, you don't have to try your best. And then he got a B, and he came here and said that like, Shovik, why did you get an B? B is not allowed in this house. Nobody got an B in this house. Then he started crying. I said that, and then he started saying that like, no, A's and B's are good. B's are good. Then we accepted that like B's are also good. So the message here is that you try your best in college, and it doesn't matter.
Thank you, Ashik, for asking for me to say something. First thing, I would congratulate BADV to start that new thing. Even though we're doing it through Zoom, I think it's a good way to finish our students who graduated from high school. And I want to say congratulations to all the graduates. You did it. Finishing high school is actually a tough job, but you did it very nicely, and I congratulate to all of them. I have one thing to say, no matter where you are going, always follow your passion, what you want to be, and listen to your heart. Anything you like, if you join, you give 100% of yourself, you'll see you will do good. No matter medicine, engineering, IT, you go anywhere, you do good. I have one more point to add here for women. There are a lot of talking about women's, which job is good, which job is bad. I will say there's no limit, girls. The sky is the limit. You guys can do the same thing on the side with the guys, 50-50. The world goes 50-50. You can do anything. You can achieve anything. Girls should have the girl power is really strong in this world. You maintain a lot of things. You can take care of children. You can take care of your husband, house, yourself, family, everything. So go forward, what you want to do, and always pursue your passion. You'll do great in this world. That's my prayer for all of you. Inshallah, you'll do good.
All right. Thank you, Fatima Pap, Dr. Fatima Ahmed. Well, this is the last note. What I want to bring that thank you, these all amazing graduates. You made this event successful, amazing panelists. Beside this, I'm so happy to have Mr. Shamim Muhammad in your involvement in this BADV program. It added some value because most of our panelists have been serving to this BADV for years. So it is very welcoming to see that you're getting very interested, and I hope that you would continue to come in our future program. I would like to thank all the BADV Executive Committee members, Shoaib Ahmed, General Secretary, Saba, for your excellent video presentations and contribution to creating the flyers and certificates for the graduates. You did also work beautifully on surprise video greetings from the parents from different part of the world. So that was awesome. I would thank our Vice President, Monir Hossain, and and Mr. Farooq Salimullah, Rumana Alam, our Executive BADV Social Secretary, and ex-BADV Social Secretary, and Dr. Sabina Sharmin for your excellent groundwork and communications with the graduates and their parents. I would thank Shahida Nipu for your diligence and hard work for BADV. You have done a wonderful job. And I would also thank Iftikhar Ahmed for being very supportive to our team. Technically, you are very supportive. I would also thank Minhaj Ahmed. We are not seeing him here by face. He is developing the BADV website, a new website for us, and incorporating all these informations and technical support. Especially, I thank Diti Hossain, our cultural secretary, and our ex-BADV patriot executive member, Dr. Faisal Chaudhary. Thank you so much. And last but not, I would like to say to the graduates that, this is the time to, before you go to college, to learn yourself, to learn your fear, to learn where is your passion is, where is your strength and weakness. This is most important. You will get millions of advice. You may have millions of dreams to change, to bring the change, in this world. But sky is the limit, as Dr. Fatima said. You just go ahead, march on. And I would say that, exploring the opportunities, using resources during the college time, now you go and make interesting mistakes, make amazing mistakes, make glorious mistakes, make fantastic mistakes, breaking the rules and norms to set the new, to leave the world more interesting for you. Make a good art and craft of your lives, and it's not the time to worry pondering over what you want to become. Rather, find a way what interests you. That's all I want to say. I also want to say that always aim high, care deeply what you believe in. If you can imagine it, you of course can become it. You can achieve it. You dream it, you become it. A vision of million dreams from you, that all it takes to make the change. A million dreams for the world you're gonna make, and after this wonderful event today, I would say that yes, you can. You have said it multiple times, and I am going to request all the viewers, thank you so much for being with us to make this program successful. I also want to request to stay with us for another 3 minutes. We are going to play a beautiful song sang by many of these graduates participating today. Do not leave before that last seconds of that slides, it's coming. Please watch, enjoy, and here we disappear. May God bless you all.
Radio show. Close my eyes and I can see the world that's waiting out for me. That's I call my own. Through the dark, through the door. I know it's been before, but it feels like home.
Can live in the world that we design. Because every night I lay in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled with things from far away. The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled with things from far away.
And every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake.
We can live in a world cause every night I in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. Dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams of the world we're gonna make.
To the world I close my eyes to see, my eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. A million dreams. I think of what the world could be, a vision one I can see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.